Well, good morning. It's great to be here with Treasurer Matt Kean as we make our second announcement as part of our economic recovery support plan for businesses right across the state. We know that it's been a very difficult time for businesses. It was a great day yesterday, and to see the excitement and happiness right around New South Wales as all the sacrifices that everyone has made really came to benefit businesses right across New South Wales. To see our workers back in the job, to see businesses opening up, it was a great day for the people of New South Wales. And I particularly want to thank, we've spoken here a lot about, over the last few days particularly, about the tolerance, respect and kindness that we wanted people to show over the course of this difficult period, and that was in full display from the people of our state yesterday. Today's announcement is all about confidence. Last year, as we came through the pandemic, business confidence was key, it was crucial to driving economic growth, to ensuring that businesses continued to employ and bring people on, and that's why we recovered every single job that was lost, and that's why we'll recover every single job again. Today's announcement has two components to it. Our small business support package for those small businesses who do not qualify for payroll tax, that is with a payroll of less than 1.2 million, those small businesses will be able to now claim up to $2,000 for a range of services and charge costs, licensing fees, council rates and the like. We're expanding that to now include tolls. We know that that's going to really support tradies right across Greater Sydney who will also be able to access this rebate. It kicks in, it's an expansion, of the current program from March this year into June before the budget, leading into the budget next year. The other announcement we're making today is in relation to a stock guarantee, and this came through a significant consultation period with business owners, with banks and their business clients, and we learnt from Victoria last year that one of the key issues was providing confidence as we head into the summer months, Christmas trade, that businesses go out there and invest in their businesses, buy stock to get going. And we know that there has been concern in relation to lockdowns. I've made it very, very clear that is a last resort, not a first resort. But this will give confidence to businesses to purchase stock, a rebate of up to $20,000 for perishable goods, $10,000 for non-perishable goods. This will give businesses the confidence to buy up big, to get ready for a major summer trade. As the JobSaver program finishes in November, we want to continue to give businesses the confidence to invest. We want businesses to look forward to what is going to be a bright summer here in New South Wales. There's a lot of built-up demand, as we saw yesterday, as people went out and spent and supported their local neighbour businesses. That's what this is all about, giving confidence to businesses so they succeed over the summer months. It's going to be boom time in New South Wales for every single business and every single worker across our state. I just want to finish by saying thank you to every person across New South Wales who went out yesterday, treated everybody with kindness and respect. It was a great day for our state, and we're going to have a great summer here in New South Wales. Matty.
Well, day two of reopening, and we're telling small business that we've got your back. We've got your back to reopen and invest for the future. We've got your back to be ready for the summer season and the bumper Christmas trading period. We've got your back to ensure that we come out of this better than we went into it. We know that we're not out of the tunnel yet, but there are still some hurdles ahead. This is about helping small business to invest with confidence, to reopen their doors and to start employing people. This is a shot in the arm for small business and the jab they need to get back on their feet and get going for summer. What we do know is that small business is the engine room of the New South Wales economy, and the New South Wales economy is the engine room of the national economy. So the sooner we get small business back on their feet, the sooner we can get our economy roaring. We know that stock is a huge risk, so we're providing a stock guarantee up to $20,000 so that businesses can go purchase perishable items, having the confidence that they need should there be another lockdown, that they can get on and not lose their cash flow. We're also providing an increase in the rebate for tolls from $1,500 to $2,000 to make it easier for people to move around the city and get back on their feet. As I said, New South Wales is the engine room of the national economy, and small business is the engine room of the New South Wales economy. So the sooner we can get small business back on their feet, the sooner we can get our economy roaring, and that's exactly what this package is all about. We want to make sure that we bounce back better after this pandemic.
Questions?
Tolls are obviously going to be a battleground for the election. It's the key red-hot issue. Is there any way that this could be extended to, for example, office workers who need to travel into the city and regular people as well?
We're always going to look at the packages that we have in place. This small business support today is about helping those small businesses get back on their feet in what's been a very difficult time for many. So we'll always look at expanding programs. That's why we've expanded this program today. We know it's been successful. We know many businesses have those annoying New South Wales government's fees and charges, council rates. What's come back through feedback, particularly with tradies across New South Wales, is that this would help. We want to provide a range of opportunities for businesses to get this $2,000 rebate, that's cash back in their business that they can invest in. It's all about driving investment. It's all about ensuring that businesses have the confidence to get moving as we get out of this lockdown period.
I know you've extended the Dine Discover voucher expiry, but are you looking to maybe give us all some more vouchers?
Look, obviously Clinton's keen to go out and get another voucher. That's great. But look, we'll have a number of announcements over the course of this period. We've put together our economic recovery support package. We believe that as we transition from providing direct financial support through the JobSaver program, the Commonwealth Disaster Payment program for workers, we need to continue to invest in stimulating the New South Wales economy. I believe we're going to have a very bright summer. We are going to bounce back strongly here in our state. We did that last year. We'll do it again. There'll be other challenges along the way. But what Clinton and I have been able to do, and the Treasurer, is work through what the programs that we had in place last year, what we thought went well, what could be better, and look at another range of programs that we received from feedback. We've conducted significant consultation with the business community over this period of time. We've floated ideas with them. They've floated ideas with us. So there'll be a range of initiatives that we'll look at. And I don't want to preempt any further announcements. There'll be a lot more to say as we head through this period of time.
Would you consider expanding the JobSaver program till the end of the year? And is there any consideration about more targeted support for the cities as well, for downtown Sydney?
What was the first part?
Were you going to consider extending JobSaver to the end of the year?
Well, we decided to extend the JobSaver program to 1 December, and we did that because we wanted to continue to provide that support during the reopening, where a number of restrictions still remained in place. So obviously yesterday the 4 square metre rule was still in place indoors. There's a number of caps that are still there. A lot of those restrictions ease off by 1 December. The federal government decided to end their support. I have no issue with that. They've provided significant financial support to our state during this period, and on behalf of Business of New South Wales, we are very grateful for that support. We decided to extend that because that provides cash flow to businesses as they get back up and running. And the second part,
targeted support for downtown Sydney.
Well, cities are crucial. Whether it's the Parramatta CBD, whether it's the Sydney CBD, we want them to be thriving metropolises, and that's where people come to work. And so businesses right across the state have gone through a very difficult time. Western Sydney, particularly, with more restrictions on those affected LGAs, so we know that. But Sydney CBD, the Parramatta CBD, and we're about to go and visit a florist after this. I was speaking to a florist the other day in the Sydney CBD who was in tears because of the challenges that she's faced during this period of time. And with people not coming back into town, it's been incredibly difficult. But bright times lie ahead. We will have a number of announcements in relation to how we can support our cities during this period. That will be a direct focus for the government, as will all businesses. I mean, we're looking right across the board, but I am particularly focused, and the Treasurer are very keen to focus on revitalising and rejuvenating our CBDs, whether that's in Western Sydney or in the Sydney CBD.
Premier, when it comes to those CBD spaces, we're looking at a hell of a lot of empty offices that are just sitting there waiting as workers transition and maybe don't come back in from working from home. What are you going to be doing to target those office spaces to try and get workers back into those buildings?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is work very closely with landlords and businesses around how we bring workers back in, and we need employers to have confidence. That's first and foremost what's important as we bring activity back into town. I know the planning ministers have been doing a lot of work in this space, as well as the customer service minister and the jobs minister Stuart Ayres. What you'll see is a continued investment as we made last year. We had our a CBD revitalisation plan that brought activity back into the Sydney CBD. And if there's things to come to, I understand and accept that people want to balance in a post-pandemic world working from home, and that's been incredibly successful for people. It also supports local businesses, and it helps people balance work and family life. So that's going to be an important part of the mix going forward. But also we want to encourage people to come back to the Sydney CBD. We can't have dormant cities. We need thriving cities, and Sydney is Australia's truly only global city, and we want to make it the very, very best. But there's opportunities, Lucy, that we can work with that as well, because I think if you look at the activities we brought in last time, some of the areas that have been hit hard by the pandemic and lockdowns have been the arts industry, the creative arts industry, the music industry, events. So what you will see is the government really working on bringing events and life back to town to make it an attractive place for people to come, and that will ensure that the smaller businesses that rely on trade of people coming into either Parramatta or the Sydney CBD will be able to have that benefit.
In terms of supporting small businesses, will you consider removing the 20% cap on restaurant hospitality revenues at 8%?
Look, this is something that we're certainly looking at. We're not going to be stubborn in our views. We're working very closely with the industry. I've had a number of discussions with them about it. I understand the confusion that was caused when information went out, which shouldn't have gone out. But we'll always look at the settings that are in place. We have a roadmap that's set out at 70%, 80% and 1 December. From time to time, there will be tweaks to that roadmap. We've listened to the industry in respect of that matter, and we'll consider it in due course as we head to the 80% double dose mark.
This announcement is lockdown.
Well, we know. Yeah. Well, that's difficult to tell at this stage. I mean, we believe the restrictions that we released yesterday is around $500 million a week. So there's. We will see. You're in that time at the moment where it's very difficult to put a dollar figure on what that cost will be. But it's been $1 billion a week to some degree. But we'll have to get closer to the end of the year as we open up to look back. But I think whilst we've had negative growth in the September quarter, I don't expect that for the December quarter. I expect there to be a strong economic rebound in New South Wales. You'll see how much build-up demand there is, but I'm very confident we're going to bounce back. We went through a difficult time last year with 2 quarters of negative economic growth. This time around we'll probably have 1 quarter, but we've got to manage those businesses and those industries that have been more significantly affected. I don't think it's even in terms of those businesses that have been affected during this period of time. Our main focus is to continue to look at the data, monitor that. The Treasurer is going to keep a watchful eye, because our clear focus here as a state is to get businesses open, to get everyone back into work as quickly as possible.
So just to be clear on that, you believe the state will avoid recession?
That's what I believe on the data that we've received so far. We've had one quarter of negative economic growth. I think we'll have a strong December quarter. It's a difficult time. It's been a difficult time for our state, but I do think we'll come back stronger than ever. And I think the data points to that. But look, long way to go, but I think there's a lot of hope and optimism. And the key last year was confidence. And instilling confidence in businesses to invest, instilling confidence in consumers to spend is what's going to drive New South Wales through this pandemic.
And a lot of them...
With that 1 quarter of negative growth and the debt the government now is in, is the credit rating under any pressure at the moment?
We've had now obviously the new Treasurer will continue to have constructive discussions with the ratings agencies, but we still have a AAA credit rating with Moody's, and we're the only state that has that in the entire country, and that's testament to the strong foundations. You don't, in good times, it's important that governments keep strong fiscal discipline, and that's what we did. And by doing that, that lays the foundation for us to invest when more challenging times come. And if you look at any other state in the country, New South Wales has been able to invest more in their businesses by a long way. And we've been able to do that because of our strong financial management in this state. So that fiscal discipline has, in good times, has led us to have the capacity right now to invest in the bad times, which will drive success into the future.
And Premier, some of the measures here contained in this package, like the stock guarantee, for instance, they're designed to guard against areas where they might have a localised lockdown. Based on current case numbers that we're seeing over the past few days, are there any areas, whether it's in regional New South Wales or elsewhere, that you have concerns about that are maybe sort of a higher chance that they may see a localised lockdown in coming weeks?
Well, Lucy, there's a number of factors that will go into those considerations. So it's obviously case numbers and hospitalisation numbers, and vaccination rates. So we will always work with the health teams on that. There is no area of New South Wales that I'm concerned about going into localised lockdowns at this time. This is all a confidence play, because we know that even though we say as a government it is our intention that we will not go into a statewide lockdown again, there may be the need from time to time for restrictions to be put in place if case numbers increase and the health team are concerned. So this is all about giving every business across our state, small and medium enterprises, the confidence to know that they can stock up, get ready for a big summer trade, and knowing that they've got the government on their side if there were to be restrictions at some point in time. Now, I don't want to plan for those restrictions in the sense that, do I believe that they will occur? I hope they don't. But my role as Premier is to instil confidence in every business across New South Wales that will get through this period of time. So stock up and get ready for a bright summer.
If the economic figures aren't as rosy as you'd like leading up to December 1, would you consider expanding JobSaver beyond that at the end of the year? Because some businesses are saying they need it until at least the end of the year, even over the whole summer period.
Look, I believe what you will see through the economic recovery support package is a number of measures that are going to help businesses. We are transitioning away from JobSaver. I did want to make sure it was still available until 1 December. We had that joint arrangement with the Commonwealth Government. We have in New South Wales invested much more than any other state in the country. Even some of the small business grants, the micro business grants, no other state has given support for businesses with a turnover of less than $75,000. We listened. We had the financial capacity to act, and we did. We want to continue to provide financial support to businesses right across the state, but we also have to transition as the economy opens, and that's what this announcement today is all about, and that's what you'll see in a series of decisions that the New South Wales Government will announce over this period of time as we move through. I know it's going to, and to the question, I know it's going to be a tough time for businesses. Whilst we're going to have a bright summer, there have been many challenges during this lockdown period. That's why we made what I thought was a very easy decision to extend that support for December. We want to continue to provide support for businesses, but we also need to transition away as we open up. And I think what you'll see over the course of the economic recovery plan are a number of announcements that will help businesses, giving them the confidence to open up successfully, and people across our state and families across our state to go out and spend and help those small businesses as we go through this difficult period.
This announcement won't do anything to remove cuts from suburban roads, avoiding the M5 East Toll. Why haven't you announced any relief for large trucking companies?
We're always happy to look at the policy settings we have in place, and that's an area that the New South Wales government will continue to look at. We want to provide support for all businesses. We know that tolls have an impact on businesses, on families, but at the same time, this is a government that's continued to put downward pressure on the cost of living right across our state. We put more measures in place, more tax cuts in place than any other government before us through a whole range of initiatives targeted at businesses, targeted at families, and that's what you're going to continue to see. You'll certainly see that as we roll through this recovery support package, and it's what you'll continue to see from Matt Kean as he delivers budgets into the future.
Sorry, just on voluntary assisted dying, it's a private member's bill. Will you wait until Thursday to allow it to be introduced, or similar to abortion, will you allow it to be introduced today?
Well, my understanding is, it's obviously a private member's bill. It's not a government bill. My understanding, from what I've read, that Alex Greenwich, the member for Sydney, will introduce that bill today. Will give notice of introducing that bill, and we'll second read that bill on Thursday. And once that bill has been introduced, that will then become a matter for our cabinet and from the Liberal Party's perspective, the Liberal Party party room. I've made it very clear to cabinet colleagues and the party room that my view is that it should be a conscience vote, but ultimately that's a matter for final deliberation of our cabinet and our party room.
There are Nationals MPs who are going to co-sponsor the bill, though, so it can't be a government position. It would have to be a party position. Is that, like, in terms of taking it to cabinet, if the Nationals are going to support it anyway?
No, members of the National Party and the Liberal Party who are not members of the cabinet can co-sponsor bills. Getting technical here, can co-sponsor bills. And that's completely appropriate, and I support that. I like the fact that members of Parliament who are passionate about certain areas of public policy can co-sponsor bills. I'm very supportive of that. But it's important that from an executive level, where the leaders of the Liberal Party and the National Party are there, have a discussion and make a decision in relation to a conscience vote. So if that's the view that backbenchers would like to take, that's their prerogative. Our cabinet will make a decision. I believe that it is highly likely that the Liberals and the National Party will provide a conscience vote, because that's the tradition of both our parties, and I think it's an important tradition. I think it's one that provides for tolerance and respect in the party room based on the different views that come up on some of these difficult and challenging issues.
Matt, Treasurer, do you also support a conscience vote on this issue, being from, I guess, the other faction?
Well, I absolutely support a conscience vote on this issue, and I also support the Premier's position that this is a matter that should be considered by the Cabinet, should be discussed by the Cabinet, and that's exactly the process that we'll follow.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
I don't know, what's the go? Yeah.
It's just a small shop, you're going to get one